Hi, I'm Kristen Fazzolero. I'm the Manager of Oncology Support Services at the Hoag Family Cancer Institute. At Hoag, we've long held the belief that supporting the cancer patient and their family throughout their journey is vital to their well-being.
Hi, my name is Josephina Kim. I'm one of the oncology social workers at Hoag. Studies show that art has a positive effect on patients with cancer. These arts help patients express their feelings and emotions that words cannot. Patients do not need any formal art training to participate in these arts. Caregivers, family members, and friends are welcomed as well.
This is not your traditional instructional art class. This video is designed to help you get started on your art journey. Whatever you are feeling, put onto your canvas. And keep in mind, there is no right or wrong answer. This is your art, your creativity, and your expression.
Hi, I'm Lynn Kaplan. I am originally from South Africa and I live in Orange County. I've been painting and teaching in the area for the past 20 years. For today's project, I've decided to do a blue background and I'm going to mix in a little bit of gold just to lighten and brighten it up for me. I'm applying my paint to the canvas using a crisscross motion, making sure that I cover all the little holes on the canvas. I am going to use a little bit of water. I can feel my paint is a little bit dry today. If you leave the top half of the painting for the sky and you start changing the color towards the center of your painting. And now as I'm getting to the lower half of the canvas, I'm going to pick up a little bit more of my aquamarine so I have a bit of a gradient in the middle. You don't want to leave any places that don't have paint on.
We believe in combining traditional support groups with more creative opportunities to allow each patient to engage where they feel most comfortable. We're excited to offer this new art experience and look forward to hearing your feedback after you participate in this class.
This video is focused on trees. So think of a tree from your childhood, or maybe a tree that you see on your walks. Think of how the tree makes you feel. Maybe you see different colors. Maybe you think of your own childhood or your family and friends. Whatever inspires you, we hope that this video sparks your creative journey and process.
Watch my brush stroke as I make round circular movements, pulling my paint over in a very soft way to give the feeling that there's a puffy cloud. Now I'm ready to think about the tree. I want my tree just slightly off center with lots of space for the roots. I'm going to very lightly sketch in. Now I am sketching in on wet paint. I do suggest and recommend that between the stages of your background and doing your tree that you do give yourself a little bit of time to dry so that you don't dig into wet paint.
Painting is really powerful and it evokes a lot of emotion, and we have colors that we connect with different things, and I think as long as you're coming from it and being present in it, the colors will allow the emotions to come in and it will evoke something out of you. Everything can have significance if you really just stop for a moment and allow it to happen.
I branch off thinking about my own life and how many branches and twists and turns I've had. I'm actually going to branch off into 3 directions. So while I'm sketching my tree on the canvas, I encourage you at home to put whatever you want on your canvas, on your tree, remembering that there's no mistakes and that if you're not happy with what you've done, you can let it dry and start off from the beginning again. Just think about your life, and if you were a tree, what would your tree look like? I'm now going to dip in a little bit of black. I'm going to start making a little pattern on my tree trunk. The roots are really important. So I'm going to take now my skinny brush, and I'm very gently bringing lines down to represent my roots. And I'm going back into my tree trunk, making sure my branches have the same color. You can decide if you want a pink tree. There's no reason why your tree has to be brown or black. You can choose whatever color you're feeling. I just chose something quite literal this morning, making it look a little bit more realistic. I'm going to twist it out a little bit, maybe a little divot in the road. We've all had that. And there I have a really pretty tree outlined for you. Put the little fine branches on, releasing the pressure as I get to the end. So being heavy, 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 releasing the pressure. So if I had to tell the story of what my tree was, perhaps the fact that I came from South Africa, maybe this branch here could represent one period of my career when I was involved with designing. I have 2 children and a grandchild. We all have such exciting, colorful, eccentric lives, so I've created little interesting spaces in my tree. Then this branch of the tree could perhaps represent a marriage. And then this branch, I'm actually going to say, let it represent me. Could be something you've gone through, or for me, when I was diagnosed with breast cancer, and my journey. We all have history and we all have roots. And that's pretty much the base and the beginnings of my tree. At this point, I would recommend you at home take a little break and let your paint dry. You really don't want to be putting the leaves or the blossoms onto the wet paint. You're going to create mud. For fun, today, I decided to teach you how to draw a treehouse. And I'm going to start off with the first front of the house and then the little roof. And I'm going to make it 3D, so I'm going back and it's supported by my branch of my tree. I went to a school that had a treehouse. You at home, if you do a treehouse, I again advise you to let it dry. Now again and again, you do not need to do this. This is your tree. And you're going to see a whole lot of different examples. And I want you to look at whatever your life is and do your painting however you want it to be. The thing that I think is fun is to bring out something in your painting that makes you think about your family, your life, and have a little fun with it. A little chimney, a little tree house, a little window. As you'll see with all the art here today, every painting is different. No 2 paintings are the same. We're all unique, we all have our own stories and our own creativity. Now I need to get to the treehouse. So I need to have a little ladder. And I know it might seem very literal, but for me it's symbolic of, once again, my life and the nurturing home that I've tried to create. I don't know if I mentioned this, but maybe it is a good time. I was diagnosed many years ago of bilateral breast cancer. And I know for me, it was really, at the time, it felt like a really big journey to get where I needed to go. And also, for me now, I think this ladder represents a way for people to come up and support me. I couldn't have done it without the community and my friends and my family. So I think it's kind of connected my roots to my tree, to my house, to my journey. There's a connection in the ladder that step by step, I went through each process to get where I needed to be. One thing about a ladder is it connects you from where you are now to your roots. So almost in a way, it's almost emphasizing the connection between where we are now and where we've come from. And I think it's a place for people to reach you, to get the support you need. All right, time for leaves, the fun part. I'm using my skinny brush. I don't want big hulky leaves. And I've taken my blue, my yellow, and my white and mixed a pretty green. And I'm gonna put my leaves on my branches, coming off the tips, but I don't want the leaves to overpower the tree. I still want to see the tree. So I'm dabbing it on, but in quite a controlled way. Maybe changing the colors up a little bit, so it appears that some leaves are behind and some leaves are in the front. You could do a willow tree, you could do a jacaranda tree with beautiful blue flowers on it. You don't need to stick to the green. Just remember to keep your colors separate, not to let your colors mix, because you're going to get a really muddy color if you do purple and green. And this is a long, tedious process because I have a lot of leaves. It could be your experiences, the fabulous places you visited, the wonderful wine you've had along the way. The one thing I love is when I go back and see everybody else's work and see how different everybody else's is. So when you're done, make sure to take pictures and to post them on our Facebook page. We're trying to build a community of shared experiences, and hopefully we can have a little place where we can write our story. So don't forget to post those paintings and share them. And the interesting thing is, if I did this painting 10 times this afternoon, every time I do it, it would be different.
So I finished my drawing with adding a yellow butterfly, and it reminds me of my nephew who I lost, and his favorite color was yellow. And every time I see it, a yellow butterfly, it reminds me of him. And it makes me feel just connected to his life. And it's a beautiful reminder that he's still with me. So thanks.
I'm enjoying the tree project very much. It has been so inspirational to me. I pictured my trees the way I see my life right now. My heavy foundation, those are my roots. The tree trunk is my life. The branches and blossoms are my daughters and my granddaughters. The blossoms are not the flowers, they are butterflies. Because just like the life itself, I believe, the butterflies are eternal. This large butterfly, beautiful butterfly, is my mom, who was my role model through the life, and she's in the sky now, protecting and watching over us.
My heritage is really important for me, and so the roots reflect that, and so we've got the German, the Swedish, the English, and then the background, which includes mountains, where I grew up in Colorado, the desert, and then the ocean in California.
Mine has to do with the isolation of what I've been feeling for the last year and the separation from my family. I have birds in here that are separated from each other, and at the base of it is Chicago, which is where all my family is, and how sad I feel about being separated from them for over a year. I've done a couple of these trees now, and I wanted some different images because I was getting things too stylized. So I just went to the internet under trees, images, found a tree that felt like I feel. And this particular tree has very wide branches that is the way I feel, because I hold a lot of people, a lot of feelings, a lot of emotion in the environment, in helping people. Our inspiration can come from anywhere. A lot of artists go to the library or look at different books that they have. And then even Tanya, who we saw earlier in her work, she finds inspiration and then brings it to her paintings. You know, we don't have to be lost on a white canvas in the things we just see in our mind. In the other piece I did a couple weeks ago, which I chose to use tissue paper in, I went to the internet, looked up birds, looked up images, put my tissue paper over the top of my phone, traced it, cut it out and stuck it on my canvas. So you don't have to work specifically out of your imagination. We don't copy other people's art, but we do copy trees that we've taken pictures of or things we find off the internet and make them our own.
I have completed my painting for today. I hope you had fun doing yours, and I hope that you share your painting on our community page and that we're able to build a creative community together.
We at Hoag feel very fortunate to be able to provide such creative content to our patients and their family members, and we could not do this without the generosity of our community donors.
My art helped me relax and calm down and find hope. I want to thank Lynn, everybody that's contributed at Hoag, and all the participants. And I hope you got a lot out of this video and will share your story with us. Thank you for participating.